Your name holds power. The dormitory always smelled of wax and damp paint. Thunder rolled across the campus, rattling the single flickering fluorescent light that hung above the stairwell. Students whispered as they circled in the common room, notebooks in hand, chairs scraped against tiled floors, laughter bouncing like sparks across the walls. It was initiation night, the last step before the real society welcomed its newest members. The ritual was simple. They were told a paper oath dipped in red ink, fake, store-bought, and a chant. Nothing could go wrong. Just sign it, said Nia, her smile bright under the shadow of the candlelight. It's all for fun. They are just testing courage. The paper lay at the center of the circle, stark and white, waiting. The students leaned closer. The candle flame reflected in their eyes, their nervous grins dancing across the page like living shadows. Tommy dipped the quill into the red ink, letting it drip like tiny droplets of blood. He scrawled the first name, his own, and handed it across the circle. The moment Juma signed, the paper shivered. Not physically. It was subtle. A pulse under the ink, like a heartbeat, as if the sheet were aware. A flicker. Then the first line began to change, words twisting themselves, forming letters none of them wrote. Real names. Full names. Truth binds. The laughter died. By the time the last student reached for the quill, the candlelight threw shadows long and jagged, crawling across the walls like fingers. The room felt smaller. The paper breathed. One student's whisper broke the silence. It's moving. The last thing they felt before the page demanded obedience was a chill that slid down their spines, wet and sharp. It began innocuously enough. The students, freshmen in the sprawling university dorms of Ibadan, treated the ritual like a dare. Phones were silenced, social media stories paused, the glow of the laptop screens cast pale light on sweaty, excited faces. The paper, a single sheet folded into thirds, held a printed oath of loyalty to the society. We pledge ourselves to the bonds of our name. We honor each other and the society with truth and courage. But as each student signed, the ink, bright and wet, seemed to seep into the fibers of the page with a life of its own. Red veins spread, pulsing faintly, like arteries waking from sleep. Laughter gave way to murmurs. Nia leaned close to inspect the quill marks, eyes widening. It's rewriting itself, she whispered. The words shifted again. Names only. Names are weak. Give me your full names. Give me the names your mothers whispered before you were born. Tommy laughed nervously. Very funny. Whose? The quill lifted itself. Dripping ink, it traced letters into the paper on its own. Give me your blood name, or I take it. No one moved. A candle flickered, throwing shadows across their faces. The room was silent except for the rain tapping on the window and the hum of electricity in the sockets. By midnight, the paper had become a terror of its own. The students' names, once clear and carefully printed, had been replaced with longer, stranger words, names they didn't recognize, names that felt wrong when spoken aloud. Nia touched her name with trembling fingers. Her handwriting had changed, letters she never wrote crawled beneath her fingertips, and she recoiled as the ink seemed to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat. Juma was first. He read aloud the line the paper had demanded. "If you speak lies, I speak them for you." Immediately, his throat constricted. He coughed, clawed at the air. Words escaped him, but they were not his own. In a voice older, harsher, he screamed the names of strangers, children who had never existed, ancestors he had never known. Tommy tried to snatch the quill away. The paper shivered violently and leapt from the table like a living thing, landing atop his chest. His hands moved without him, signing a name that was not his. The candle flames danced with shadows that weren't their own. The students realized the paper was feeding on fear, on honesty, on names themselves. "We should have never," Nia gasped. But the paper whispered, "It's too late. Truth has been called." The students tried to flee, but the dorm's doors refused to open. The paper floated, carried by an invisible current, chasing them down hallways, landing on desks, bouncing along walls, demanding more names, more truth. Phones had stopped working. Every device hummed strangely, screens flickering with names of the missing students. The ink spread across every visible surface, bright against white walls, dark against the tile. Tommy screamed as letters right across his arms, the paper imprinting itself on skin, burning faintly. Nia's candle went out. Darkness fell like a heavy curtain. The rain's tapping became louder, faster, like a drum signaling the approach of something unseen. "Speak your name," the paper hissed. Juma tried to resist. The quill lifted, floating, tracing the full lineage of his family, twisting through generations he had never spoken of, binding him to it. They understood finally. The paper demanded truth beyond the present, ancestral acknowledgement they had ignored, blood names unspoken, deaths unhonored. By 3:14 a.m., the room was a storm of candlelight, ink, and terror. The paper spun in the air, faster, a cyclone of red veins, chanting the names of the living and the dead alike. Nia grabbed the notebook to cover it, but the paper penetrated the cover like smoke, wrapping around her hands, crawling along her arms. She screamed, the ink seeping into her skin, forming letters that burned as they formed. Tommy tried to throw the paper into the trash, but it vanished midair, reappearing on the dorm table with names he had never known. Juma, trembling, read aloud the final line it demanded. "Whoever denies me, I deny forever." The candle flames flickered violently. Shadows lengthened, coiling over the ceiling like serpents. The paper leapt from table to table, quivering like a living beast. Then, silence. The paper lay still. The ink stopped moving. The students, pale and shaking, stared at the blank sheet, now calm, empty. But their phones chimed. Each had received a voice note, faint, like a whisper carried through paper fibers. "Remember your blood name. Remember it well." They understood the oath was never fake. It never had been. Days later, students reported odd phenomena. Ink stains on notebooks appeared overnight, forming names no one wrote. Their dorm mates spoke of whispers behind doors, footsteps in empty hallways, cold touches at the edge of sleep. The society never denied what happened that night. It only reminded students. Words carry power. Paper carries more. Names carry the weight of the world. Some left. Some stayed, forever changed. All remember the lesson when writing anything: a page is never just paper. And a name is never just a name. Even today, freshmen dare each other to fold the original sheet, now locked in a drawer somewhere, and speak the oath aloud. Few last beyond the first line. Moral: words are alive, speak with awareness. Every word you write or speak carries weight. Honesty and mindfulness in communication are not just virtues, they can shape reality in ways you may not expect.